Reverend Father Johnson Vazhappilly, CMI, is the Executive Director and CEO of Rajagiri Hospital, Kochi, one of the finest of healthcare facilities and one among the two JC accredited hospitals in Kerala. He is a chairperson of Cargo Healthcare Institution. Now I invite Reverend Father Johnson Vazhappilly to chair the session.
Thank you, Comparer, for the nice words. Congratulations, Dr. Rema, here for this great event. And now we get into another topic, namely training and capacity building. As introduced here, I come from an organization named Rajagiri Hospital. It started some 8 years back. When we planned the building up of this organization, we asked ourselves, what can be done to the people who live around us? And we made a small survey, and the people who are not highly educated, maybe just high school education, why don't we give them a chance to serve and get an employment? We collected the data, and about 100 people were shortlisted. They all were unemployed people spending most of their time in their home cooking, all that. And we gave them training for 3 months to become the housekeeping staff. And then that was the foundation where we started the housekeeping department of our hospital. The time passed by, new members joined, but even after 8 years, we can still recognize the people who originally received that training for 3 months. Because that training impacted so much in their approach to the work. The smile that we see on their face, the commitment they express, their teamwork, all these things are highly admirable. Now we have better things to hear, again on training and capacity building. We have a very resourceful person in Maya Sreekumar. I have great appreciation when I looked at the CV of Maya. 25 years with Cognizant, isn't it something, really great? And that too, the last quarter of that 25 in the field of HR. Currently holds the position Vice President HR. I think Maya started her career first with project and then quality engineering and finally into HR and learning and development. I understand that Maya controls almost 16,000 employees at the Cognizant Coimbatore unit. Lot of awards, lot of leadership initiative. So I think we will have a very, very fruitful half an hour with Maya. So Maya, welcome to the stage and to lead the session.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. First of all, I'm so happy and privileged to be here today for 2 reasons primarily. One, I've never been in such an environment with healthcare professionals and talking about HR. This is my first experience. So I'm looking forward to learning from you as well through this interaction. Second is, my father had his knee surgery in Ganga Hospital a few years back. And at that time when I came here, so we are from Thrissur. I've been traveling abroad and working here, but my father, who's ex-military person, he's from Thrissur. So he was very skeptical about Coimbatore, Ganga and all. I said, you just come here, we'll take care. And it's been such a wonderful experience through that. And as well in the last few years, the way he used to be, he couldn't walk properly because of the osteoarthritis he had. And now his quality of life and all has been extremely great. So I'm very thankful to this institution that brought so much of happiness into my family again. So with that, what I'm going to cover today I'm not really sure whether it will resonate well with all of you. Okay, so I want to place that in front because if you see Cognizant, so like Father said, like I've been with Cognizant, a technology organization, for the past 25 plus years. Cognizant has 3,50,000 employees across the globe, of which in India alone we have around 2,50,000 employees. We are a almost $20 billion company. And I was like the 755th employee of this company, was in the US, Europe, and all that. I was very passionate about technology and work for the first 17 years. And then I moved into learning and development. So my core expertise now is learning, skilling, all of that. And whatever I'm going to talk about is from the context of such large organizations. So when I clarified that with Rama ma'am and her team, I said, what I'm going to say, or my experience is all about HR, learning and development in a very large setting. Now, how do you take some points from there and how do you try to implement that is something that you would have to bridge, okay, through the process. So with that, again about Cognizant, we work with top retailers, banking, all 30 healthcare companies in the world we work with. So we are like a technology services provider for various industries in the world. No, that's a core work we do. So day in and day out, what we talk is artificial intelligence, data science, technology, engineering projects, products, all of that. So today, maybe when Sreekumar was speaking, one of the first session I'm sitting there and not hearing technology much. Otherwise in our organization or wherever I go, it's all about technology. So what is the world we are in today? We are all scratching our head, literally. What is going on? Through pandemic, before pandemic, I don't think we were scratching so much. It is through that, what is really going on? What is changing in the world? All of you are experiencing the change every day. If you take your last 10 hours of your life, or excluding the sleep, not 24 hours, the amount of time you would have used this instrument to either order some food, being a Friday that you have just come out of, and to make a transaction, to make some payments, to browse through YouTube videos. Everything is driven through this technology, this one item in this world. And like in the prior session, they were like, how do you engage with students who are glued to this technology? This is the power of a rocket that was launched many, many years back. This is more power than that. So everybody, when you connect to the scratching of the head, it's because technology is changing the world at a pace that none of us can imagine. Today you go back and then look at world 2050. Just go and search in Google, how would world look like in 2050? You wouldn't be able to believe what you see there, whether it is flying cars, whether it is half human and half robot, and coexisting with robots. The professions that we would have never expected to be there. Things that somebody can imagine technology would change. That's the world in 2030, 2040, 2050. So what will happen in the next 5 years is something that would not have happened in last 50 years. That's the kind of world we are going to be in, which is something that we have to just accept. Now, if you get into the organizations that are currently existing and take your own industry, if you ask the senior leaders of that organization, they all will say that I want my staff to be more ready for the future. I want my staff to know technology. I want my employees to know what's happening outside their world. You will see that most of those CEOs and CXOs and managers will say that I want my employees to be ready for the future. They need to know about everything that could happen in the future, not about readiness today. I don't think any senior managers or leaders of the company say that I want my employee to perform the 10 steps in the best way. That's like a given. You have to be most efficient and effective in what you do. But your managers, your bosses feel that you have a skill gap. You need to know more. So that's what managers and leaders say of the company. But what do employees say? What you say on the right side, the 65%. Employees are saying that I think I'm good enough for my career. I have the skills which can help me sustain for some more time. They intrinsically might feel there is a gap, but they express it as if, what more should I learn? I know what I need to do. Finally, this is the money you're giving, this is the work. I know what I need to do. That is where the gap lies. Employees of the organization not accepting that I need to now upskill, reskill, cross skill continuously so that I'm relevant for tomorrow. So, training and capacity building as a topic of today, I'm kind of changing it to say reskilling ahead of the curve, which is not in just the context of your company, it's about ourselves. It's about how are you staying relevant for the future today. So we as an individual come into picture in that context, and there are two sides. If you take in the ecosystem of a company as an individual, there are two sides to the learner, which is something that has evolved in the past 7 to 8 years, these two sides. Otherwise, once you join an organization, I'm sure many of you have been working in various industries for 10 plus years, you will have to go into a training department to get training done. Training department will have to organize trainings for you to learn new things. There was never a way where you could learn so much on your own. So though you have these two sides of an individual. So everything is about how you as an individual is self-aware of your gaps. How are you building your skills to bridge that gap? And how do you bridge that gap itself? Now, one is through all this YouTube and videos and different information that comes to you. And on the other side, you're in a corporate, you're in an environment where you have learning management systems, you have different content providers, like whether it's Coursera, Udemy, Simply Learn. There are so many other learning systems that a company would have with which you can learn. So you need to assimilate from both of them and be ready for that future. So what do organizations need to do? So what I'm going to talk for the next few minutes is about if you are in the organization, in the HR department, or if you're aspiring to be in the HR, and if you're going to manage the learning and development arm of the HR and the organization, what are the three things you need to focus on? You need to have a strategy. You need to have a implementation approach in mind. And the most important, the last questions in Shiva's session was about how do you create that experience to the user? Which was never so much of an important point before, no? But today experience has become core. So these are the three aspects that you need to do as a leader or as a function lead when you're setting up your training and capacity or a reskilling plan for your employees. So what does strategy mean? There are 5 components to the strategy. The first is about your business strategy alignment, which means what are you trying to do? What problem are you trying to solve? Extremely important aspect. No, you have an organization of like 10,000 employees or 5,000 or whatever number it is. Through your skilling division, what problem are you solving? How many people do you need to be reskilling for the future? How many How many of them need to move from one job to another? No, that's a business engagement or a strategy that you need to have. What are your drivers? Second is how are you going to measure? Again, we spoke in the prior session. What you cannot measure, you cannot know what is going good, bad, or ugly. So you need to measure. So what are you going to measure? Are you going to measure that how many hours of training did they go through? Or are you going to measure because of a training and skilling you did, how many of them moved up to another job? Or how did your revenue grow? Because you skilled so many people, you invested 1 crore or X number of rupees into your training, and because of that, did it bring a difference to the organization? Like feedback, again, various points that Shiva touched upon are interconnected to this. No, when you invest in identifying the purpose of the employees and then align your skilling in alignment with that, you will generate more revenue. You will have a happy customer base. So that's the measuring part of it. Third is how are you going to operationalize it? Today, you don't need specifically a trainer or a training platform that you need to have as a company. People can learn on their own in various ways. I can become a data scientist on my own by enrolling into multiple programs which are available through Coursera, multiple platforms. So what is the organization actually going to do in giving a content or a hands-on experience to the learner? Do you need to curate content? Do you need to buy content? Do you need to have video-based platform? How is your operational approach? Third is, how are you going to engage with the employees, which we said as a very important point. We'll cover a little more in detail. And what kind of high touch or low touch skilling do you need to do? So these are some of the 5 key aspects of the strategy that you need to work upon when you think of setting up your plan for the future for reskilling of your employees. Now take an example of digital literacy. So when we as an organization, we didn't become 350,000 employees with a 20 billion revenue just like that. No, we have been existing as an organization for the past 28 years, and we had employees who were working on mainframe. For example, I did my BSc Maths and my MCA, and I was trained on mainframe and COBOL, which many of you might know. It's like a very old technology. And after that, I moved into products like PeopleSoft. Then I was an implementation upgrade expert for product. It's an Oracle product in the US and Europe. Multiple things. Through my career of 6 years, 6 career shift of the 25 years, I've done 6 different careers within the company. And each of the time, it's not that somebody told and explained to us. We just have to unlearn and relearn ourselves and go. But there came a point in around 2015 or 2014 where digital as a term. How many of you hear the word digital every day, every other hour, right? Digital is like in everything that you read, you see the word digital. So there was a time we said, okay, our entire employee base at that time was around, I think, 150,000. Everybody should know what is digital. What does it mean to have digital literacy? How is technology changing, and what is the connect between the digital and the technologies that we need to bring and learn about? So that is when what I'm showing here is when we had to do the digital diffusion into the organization, what kind of steps we took, and this is more into the future also. If you have to do a digital upliftment of your organization, what you could do. So first is literacy, right? You need to tell people about what is digital all about. So you need to have expert talks. You need to have deep dive technology sessions with the people. No, you need to do multiple things to increase the literacy of the organization. Then you need to have more, you call about the T-shape, more deeper connects through hands-on sessions or experts who come in where you do some learning through the projects and build a point of view. So if you can build a point of view only when you know the subject to some extent. So that's why we are calling about point of view. I don't again, how many of you have heard about this powerful term called point of view? Suppose somebody comes to you and asks, okay, no, this is something that's happening. There's so much happening in the technology world, and everybody says that people will lose jobs in the future. Your work will get automated and you might lose job. What is your point of view on that? This is a question that might come. No, so what is your point of view is like, you'll have to think, okay, what is my point of view on losing jobs through automation? For that, you need to know about automation, you need to know about the industry, and you can build your point of view only you have the depth. So that's what you could do as a next step. And then you need to have a lot of transformation and engagements done through the business team. This is like, at the far end, I mean, it's not easy to have the business continuously engage and work on digital transformation engagement. But this is how you could build kind of literacy and depth and then transform your business itself. Third is, how do you build learning experience? And this is the point we touched upon on how can you ensure that your learning is effective and how do you think it can stick? So when you talk about reskilling, how is the reskilling going to help you grow your business? No, so for that, the experience, including experience as a core aspect in every step of your reskilling model is very important. So you could have an approach of learn and certify, which is like how you have done in colleges. No, you learn a subject, you go through a test, and you certify yourself. Second, which is more important in organization, is about how are you applying that and showing that you're able to perform better. So everything that you learn, the question you need to ask is, can I apply? How can I apply what I learned? Am I able to solve a business problem with what I learned? That is where the performance enhancement comes. And today in a corporate world, there is less of learn and certify because that's something you can do on your own. It's more about performance management. Everything that you learn, can you apply? Every time you ask the question, okay, I'm learning this, but how can I apply it? I'm learning project management, but when I have to manage a project, what from this do I apply? Can I do estimation using, when you do a size and effort estimate, when you have to do a project, what I learned, is it applying there? Now, when I have to put my project plan, what I've learned, can I apply it there? So, continuously asking, can I apply and can I enhance my performance in the world that I am in? And then continuous learning, I don't have to talk about it. We all know that we are in a world where learning never stops. It's lifelong learning, and it's not again in the corporate, but continuously we'll have to do it. And for that, again, going back to what you said, you need to have that mindset to continuously develop yourself. Now, there are multiple ways of engaging with the learner. Here, I'm just calling out few ways of doing it. So, first, you could know, or you could give information on what are the new trending skills, and develop a curiosity. So, in learning and development world, one of the key terminology that we all talk about is the learner need to be curious. You need to generate that curiosity in them. And how do you generate curiosity? Is my baby telling things that are happening around, giving that information to them, and then tell them, okay, if you want to move from point A to point B, if you are like a assistant nurse today, and if you want to become a head nurse, I'm just giving an example connected with you. What is that will take you from a point A to point B? What kind of KRAs or skills you need to have, which will exhibit in your KRAs as well. And once we see that, then you move to the next level. In our world, in a world of technology like Cognizant, there are no time periods for promotion. We get to move to the next level when it is seen that we are already performing at the next level. So in my 25 years, maybe I've had like 13 or 14 promotions to the vice president level that I am now, and it is because always you try to show your potential to the next level and demonstrate it in your current job. So as much as we say about moving from point A to point B, what is extremely important in an organization is to have that motivational element to generate that experience in the employee. And that motivational element most of the time comes from a career growth that they can see because of a reskilling, which is not clearly in this slide per se, but then in the organization when we were in the L&D division and heading that with the team, that's one of the key aspects that we focused on, saying, let's focus on motivation. And what motivates is opportunities to grow. Again, like Shiva said, learning and growing is something that every employee looks for. And again, if you go back and look in social media and read about Cognizant and other IT companies, you will clearly see that our organization, the opportunities to learn and grow stands as the first reason why people stick on to the company. Not that attrition is very low or anything here. In all technology companies, it's very high. But in Cognizant, the organization that I work for, the core thing we focus is on opportunities to learn and grow. Learning alone doesn't help. They need to see that they're able to grow into that next level, make more money, and all of that. What is Cognizant in the learning ecosystem? It's not easy to replicate what I'm showing here, but like you see, we have our own learning studio, a platform where people can self-service mode learn anything, whether it's SAP, Salesforce, Pega, data science, full stack engineering, whatever technology term, they can learn on their own. And we have multiple kind of content platforms, whether it is through SAP Academy or Cloud Academy or Udemy, multiple things we have brought together to ensure that the learning content is available for the learner. We have hands-on platforms. So if you have to practice what you're learning, then you need the hands-on. That's where the apply. Can you apply part comes. Only if you do a hands-on, you'll know how to apply it. So we have multiple platforms where you can learn your hands-on technology. And like various things, if you see various part of the ecosystem, even feedback, again, we spoke about, we have a continuous feedback system ingrained into our learning and development model, that every time you learn, you have to give feedback. And we continuously hear that, okay, this trainer was not good, or this content is not good, it's not relevant, and we get that and we continuously improve. Now, coming to the last part on, while all these can be in place, you can have a great strategy, you can have a ecosystem that has multiple elements that are coming together. But as an organization, you need to be continuously thinking about what is organization's role in this reskilling agenda, what is an individual's role. So all of us as individuals working in an organization, what is my role when I'm in the organization? To help this business grow. Whatever the business, whether it is hospital, when you say hospital as a business, sometimes it looks very difficult to think like that, but it is about patient safety and caring for them. And that's how that hospital's reputation grows. Take a technology company, it's about how we are able to transform business. And our vision and mission talks about that purpose of improving everyday life is what, if you see in Cognizant's vision statement, no, that you'll see that improving everyday life, going back to the purpose. Like that, when to every individual, are you telling the purpose of them being in the organization? What is their role in the organization? Are they developing others? No, everybody as an individual need to develop the team around them. No, are you giving the right feedback? Are you taking the right feedback? The individual's role and then the organization's role in this whole skilling and development domain. What is organization providing to them? How are they helping them grow? How are they investing in their development? That becomes the organization role. With that, just to say about Cognizant's L&D division, now we focus on technical, functional, domain, and professional skills, and also leadership development. Like I said, now we are a large organization with the target of, or with the vision to impact lives of so many customers and end consumers as well. So we have a very robust learning and development division, and these are some of the awards and accolades that we have won over the years, and this is a recent one of 2021, which has taken Cognizant's learning and development and training division. I mean, training in a very simple term I'm calling, but we call it as a learning and development and a continuous reskilling, upskilling engine that we run as one of the best in the world. With that, I'm open to questions. Thanks for your patient hearing, and thanks Rama ma'am and everybody for inviting me here and giving this opportunity to interact with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maya. Though you spoke from the background of the IT industry, I am from a healthcare industry. I could easily make out a lot of parallels on most of the points that you touched. So thank you for that. You started with the expectation gaps, then renamed the training into reskilling. That's excellent. Very, 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 very insightful. Then the reskilling strategy, implementation, and experience. And learning, and that quite interesting. You said that learning is finally that should end up with some growth for the individual. We don't just want to spend time again and again on learning and learning. Finally, that should take a person in their career growth. That should be the ultimate aim. Thank you for that. And then very well spoke about the how the role of the individual and the organization should be different. So thank you so much.
I'm Ranjit from KMCH Hospital. So you are talking about technologies. So in hospital field, very soon we are going to have artificial intelligence, which means like it's going to play a vital role in the diagnostic. So if, for example, if a patient comes for a CT scan, there is a need of a radiologist, there is a need of a technician for reporting. So, but when AI comes into the radiology, it is going to be like once patient finishes the CT scan, they'll come with the report itself within 5 minutes. So that thing I want to tell you because it is in the process. So for eye hospitals, it is in process actually. And second thing I have on general question. So after COVID, you have a system of work from home. So do you think that is more effective than coming to the office directly?
If you ask me, like I've been in Coimbatore for 15 years and I head the Cognizant Coimbatore operations. Like I said, we have 16,000 employees. And today, IT is the only industry that employees are still not coming to office, right? We in Cognizant office in Coimbatore, where we have 33 acres with 22,000 seats, hardly 500 people come. That's the reality. And there was a point when there were more snakes, through COVID, because we are in Kirnatham village. You ask, my personal view is, it is running on a momentum that is built. IT industry, service industry, where people are able to work from home and deliver to customers. Technically, there are no issues because we are productive and we are solving customer problems. But if India as a country has to still grow, as a technology transformation engine or a services hub, then interaction between people is very important to ignite that innovative thinking. When you are at home, especially freshers, if you take any technology industry, the maximum somebody stays is like today 3 to 4 years, right? Because you get double the salary with the technology skills in another firm. So to answer your question, my view is freshers specifically, like take cognizant, we took like 40,000 freshers this year. Last year we took 33,000 college graduates. The year before was 20,000. Just imagine all these 3 years who have come have never seen the organization, have never seen people in the organization. So to them, like he said, it's more of quiet quitting because they don't know who, what is this company. So to me, it's high time that IT industry brought back the hybrid world. I don't think everybody coming to office is not going to happen. So in 2023, what I believe is 30 to 40% would have to come. I think organizations will start kind of nudging, pushing that, and that will reignite that creativity to solve a customer problem in a more innovative, transformative manner. Today, we are just solving some way with the momentum build, but it has to change. It has to be in again a 30-40% of interactions have to happen, which will ignite some cells somewhere. It's not just the technology you learn. So that's what I believe, and I think you will see the change. Now TCS, everybody has started pushing that. So 2023 onwards, you will see. All I'm worried about are the roads. Now itself to reach Saravanambatti, with cognizant, the SEZ in Kirnatham village or Saravanambatti is like barely no one there, very few. Bosch has started coming. Now it's to reach there, we have to start from home by 8 o'clock. Now it takes so long. So I'm only worried about that people will say that infrastructure is not ready for them to come back. And so will they be really keen to, will they be motivated, going back? They feel that purpose to come back, I don't know. Yeah, long answer to that. I think we'll take one more question and close, is it?
Yeah, thank you, Ranjit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very well spoken, madam. I'm Dr. Bala Venkat from Ganga Hospital. In your talk, you emphasized that Cognizant stands for learning and growing more than once. But then why attrition happens? What are the important factors here that you think that you gave a good platform, learning, growing? What makes the human psyche to go to another place?
I think the answer lies in your question itself, because we are doing so much in their learning and growing that they are getting better opportunities and.
No, but the problem is if the primary platform, which they know that they contributed so much to their growth, and if they stay back for another 2-3 years, they're going to grow exponentially in terms of their emotional component, in terms of their intelligence, and in terms of their monetary aspect. Why should they go at all? That means it doesn't mean that you don't invent time into making it similar to the place that they're going to go, or what is the challenge?
I will talk for technology industry. Cognizant had a phenomenon of a little more increased attrition, but if you take any technology company, take TCS, Accenture, Wipro, Infosys, Cognizant, attrition is at its 25-30% or 25% and above, right? Why is it happening is because through COVID, all this great resignation started in 2020 end and 21, right? That's when highest attrition started. Otherwise, we were at in Coimbatore, our attrition used to be 10%. We used to have the lowest attrition with 2 lakh employees across India. But I feel people have started relooking at themselves and why are they working? If money is one of the driver for them to work, then let me make money faster. That whole loyalty, think of me, right? I'm in this organization, same company. I joined as a trainee. For 26 years, I'm in this organization. I don't think anyone joins a company to be in the organization for even 5 years. I don't think anyone. So, because I interact with freshers every day, that's my current job in the company is all about all of India campus hiring, training and deployment. I don't see any student saying that I've joined Cognizant and I want to grow in this company, be here for 10 years or 5 years. They say that I see myself here for 3 years. So the starting point is that. Now, how can I change that? I can change that only if I'm able to throw a lot of money at them. Starting point. I can be the best leader. I can say that this is the best company to work for. They might see a lot of examples in me itself, having grown so much. But they are not ready to see it today.
Madam,
they will see and come back.
There are a lot of young minds sitting here, being a lot of young minds listening to you. So being a part of an organization and you grew with the organization, what would be that you would like to give him a take-home message on sticking to an institution and growing there exponentially and gaining respect, or moving from one place to another, being a newcomer to every place, and eventually at the end of life, feeling not being a part of giving anything significant to any particular institution?
I'll keep it short. To youngsters who are joining their career or in their career, I would say give it minimum 4 to 5 years in a company. You cannot, you have to see yourself as you have 40 years of active career. I don't think any student thinks like that. They think that I have to make money in 10 years, I want to retire. I started like that. I said that, okay, I want to have only so much bank balance and I want to retire. That's how initially my thinking was. And then things change. The more you work, you feel that you want to work more. Work in the sense you want to contribute more. So my point would be, give it time. What you see around is a highly impatient, highly lack of focused generation. At the same time, highly motivated in a lot of different aspects. So give it time. Don't be impatient. 3 to 5 years. I mean, 3 years is max. I think they would start thinking with. But give it 5 years. Learn your most in that 5 years. And then make a jump for maybe double the salary, triple the salary, and then give it another 7 years. So 5, 7, 10. That's my thumb rule. I tell the students that because once you move the first job, then you should not move again very fast. You should give it like again 5 to 7 years. Then you give another 10 years. But in that 10 years, you build a network. So it's not about the duration, but what you do in those each of the tranches, right? First 5 years is all about competency building. Your skill is the new currency. Like you need to be competent, you need to be capable for future today. That's what you build. Next 7 years, you are either deep specializing or you're becoming a manager, program management or technology architect. Then you are like transforming companies. Then your next 10 years, you just build network so that you are influencing a lot more people to be, contributing and leading like you. So with that, thank you so much for those questions. And very happy to be here again. Good, all the best for that.
Thank you, Maya.